Welcome back, beer tubers. Today we're going to take the last beer I got in the series of Crooked Stave beers that I was able to pick up. At least these are sort of like their year-round beers. And this is Surette, calling it a Provision Saison. Surette is Provision Saison with a tart and vinous character from extended barrel aging. It's 6.2%. This is batch 5 from 2013. So we got to pour it out here. It's a pretty clear beer. Good carbonation coming up. When I opened it, it was starting to kind of jump out of the bottle a little bit. Bright white head on there, so just a nice kind of light orange color to it. Let's get the aroma. Oh yeah, you can tell there's a couple different things going on with this beer. Most of them yeast based. I'm getting some funkiness coming from Brett, and I'm picking up that lemony tartness that you get from like lactobacillus. So I think they did a mixed fermentation on this one. It's got a very kind of almost a goose sort of character to the aroma, but it's more of that Saison. There's a little bit of like a spiciness in there. But you can also tell it's been in probably white wine barrels. Big time vinous character. Like almost a Chardonnay, Riesling type of white grape wine character in there. A little bit of oak tannins in the mix as well. It smells great. Let's stick in. Cheers. Oh, so clean, refreshing type of beer. Yeah, really drinkable stuff too for 2%. Drinking on this beer a bit more. This is actually quite tart. There's definitely some lactobacillus in this beer. It's got a Berliner Weiss sort of tartness to it. Well, sort of like Berliner Weiss mixed with a lambic, but you can tell it's not quite a lambic, but it's got some very similar characteristics. Up front, that big lemony tartness, that sort of milky lactic character is there, and it's really just kind of puckers you up. And then the back end, you start to get some of the other characteristics of the beer, that white wine character, and there is of course the Brettanomyces that they use, Crooked Stave. The bread is not as prominent in this beer as many of their other beers though. There's a little bit of a sweetness kind of midway through after the tartness. Get a lot of like stone fruit character. Like a dried, unripened apricot is kind of what I'm getting. A little bit of like a pear note in there, and the big time white grape character. And then the finish, the Brett it's not overly funky. You get a little bit like a wet hay character, and I don't know if they're using any strains that might give off more of a fruity character, because it's not overly barnyardy or medicinal kind of funk notes like you get in some of their other beers. Very dry, clean aftertaste, not a whole lot of lingering character to the beer. Just a really easy drinking beer. It's very refreshing, great for warm weather. It's the type of Saison that I really like these days, where they get, they mix up the fermentation a bit and not try to produce necessarily a quite sour beer, but it kind of leans towards that direction. And this one might be a little more sour than some of the other beers that kind of along the lines of Tired Hands do, Prairie. Those beers aren't quite as tart as like this one, but love the breweries that are doing these types of Saisons these days. As it warms up more, I pick up a little more on that Brett character. I think on the cooler side, get more of the lemony tartness to the beer. Picking a little more funk character from the Brett, and then picking up a lot more oak character as well. And some of those oak tannins in there, and the finish kind of help dry out the beer. So really like this beer. This is an easy A for me. This is excellent stuff. This is a highly recommended beer. A beer that you could age as well. There might be a little bit of like a hop character to it. Because you do get a little bit of like a spiciness, floral character in there as well. But this is one worth drinking right away, and then maybe aging, see how it develops, because I'd be curious to see how it does. But that's going to wrap it up for Surette. Until next time, please comment and subscribe. Cheers.